Hey guys, welcome back to another F1 2021 video for Cross GT Racing here in Season 3. Before we begin, all the usual stuff. If you like the videos, please do actually leave likes on them. It would really help promote the videos. If this is your first video, thanks for coming along. I would recommend going and watching the others. Let me know in the comments what you think of each of the videos, what you think of the series, what you think of things in general. And if you haven't already subscribed to the channel, please do subscribe. It would really help me out a lot and I would really appreciate it. We're getting ready for round 8 now. We just came off a big win in the French Grand Prix in round 7. We really needed that one because we've been dropping down the championship standings for the last few races now. We haven't really had as good of a run as I would have liked this season. I would have preferred to have been doing a lot better, but we have to, we'll take what we can get, deal with any issues that come up, and move on. Very quick turnaround between round 7 and round 8. Not a whole lot of time for R&D. Not that we have much that we can actually research anyway, because we need to get Spec 3 for the other departments, which does leave me in a little bit of a dilemma at the moment. Round 8 marks the end of Michael Schumacher's contract with us. So I am having to weigh up whether I keep him on for the rest of the season, considering he's getting some points, but the car's not quite where I would need it to be for him to really do as well as I would like him to do. So I have to sort of weigh up, do I want to focus on maximizing the points that are available to us now, or do I look at another driver and use the money that we've got to upgrade facilities to make the car better for the rest of the season? But with it being only a 16 round season, how much can I actually research within that time, and taking into account that I may also have to adjust parts at the end of the season because of regulation changes. So it's a big juggling act at the moment with everything going on. So yeah, finish this race and then and then I'll figure out from there what I want to do going forward. But as we jump straight into qualifying, so practice is always good. We always do pretty much everything in practice. It's the same odd story with practice, so I'm not too fussed there. Track limit warning right off the bat at turn 1. And now we've got Ricciardo going slow. I don't know if he's doing just an out lap, if he's doing a warm-up lap, or if he's finished his qualifying. As we go a little bit wide there at turn 3. This track, very short track, probably I think it is the shortest lap on the calendar. Pretty much a 60-second lap. We're currently sitting P1 at the moment, but this is only our 3rd lap, so it is only early on in the qualifying session. As we get another track limit warning, we're currently sitting on a 104, purple through sector 2. We've got 2 more corners left, so as you can see, very quick lap, well, very short lap I should say. Down on the start finish line, we do manage to get a little bit extra out of that, a 103.9, so that keeps us at P1, 2 tenths ahead of Valtteri Bottas. Schumacher is 8 tenths behind us back in P11. So I am slowly progressing the difficulty. Not as much as I did before when I took a big jump and I ended up losing quite badly. But yeah, let's see how we go on race day here in round 8.
Good afternoon and welcome to Spielberg, and to a circuit that in one form or another has held every Austrian Grand Prix in the championship, except the very first back in 1964. It was at this race that John Watson lost a bet and his beard when he took Team Penske's only F1 victory in 1976. If anything, the stakes are even higher today, with 25 points available for victory and a crucial advantage in the championship fight. The Spielberg circuit then is situated 700 meters above sea level, with just 10 corners making up one of the shortest laps of the season. One time around here is a distance of 2.6 miles, with the best overtaking chances into turn 1 or the tight uphill turn 3. Anthony Davidson joins me again for the race today. Why don't we discuss McLaren? What do you make of their performance so far this season?
Well, the atmosphere within that team seems very positive at the moment. Everyone seems like they're in great spirits and having a lot of fun doing what they do, and that's definitely contributed to the performances we've seen.
Let's run you through the driver grid order for today's exciting race. Good job yesterday from Valtteri Bottas. The fence starts from pole position, and Lewis Hamilton completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Leclerc, Sainz, Daniel Ricciardo and Verstappen, Perez, Russell, Norris and Michael Schumacher. The captain, Tsunoda.
Now that we've got some points on the board, let's continue this form and aim for another top 10 finish.
Okay, so we're going to be starting back in P11. We promote Michael Schumacher up to P10 because of that grid penalty for the new MG UK unit, but that's okay. The grid penalties we can take now are only going to help us at the end of the season, where other teams will possibly be taking grid penalties, and it'll put us in a better position to gain some more points at the end, which is probably where we're going to need all the advantages. We're going to be doing a 2-stop this race, 2 sets of softs, 1 set of mediums. I can't remember if this track is good for softs or good for mediums. I think it's both really, so it's really just going to come down to how well I can drive the car, as we don't get a great start here, and it's a whole mess of cars up here. We end up going off the track there to get around the side of Perez. Probably not the most legal move that we could do, but we had to avoid contact there as cars were going 3 wide at turn 1. We almost crashed into the back of Leclerc there. We're now sandwiched alongside a couple of Ferraris. We've managed to squeeze our way into P7, so we've jumped up a few places, which is what we needed here in the beginnings of this race. We want to stay within DRS range of these front guys, because I'm not sure if they're going to be doing 2 stops like we are, if they're going to be doing a 1 stop, and I'm not really too sure how well we're going to be able to handle this track during the race with the slightly increased difficulty, as we go a little bit wide, and it does increase that gap to Sainz now, which is not what we want. We want to keep right up within a decent range of him. We're in DRS range, so when we get the DRS we will still be able to catch up, but they're starting to pull away now. Perez now just flies up alongside us. We give him a little bit of space, but he gets the bed. Nope. Okay, yellow flag there, so we take another look, and I'm pretty sure there was a little bit of contact there, and yep, there was definitely contact, wheel on wheel. So he didn't really have, so he was in front, but then he didn't have, I don't know, it's questionable. He almost hits the barrier coming out of the pit lane there. We sent him into a spin. It's a tough one there, because when we went into the turn, he wasn't close enough to me to really try and make that move, but then as we both turned, he was right alongside me. So yeah, I don't know what the ruling would have been there in an actual race, but we'll just take it. We'll take what we can get at this point. We're right up alongside now with DRS moving up into 6th position.
Okay, good work, great pass.
DRS again now on Leclerc. We're not really gaining on him, as he's probably got DRS on the McLaren of Ricciardo. We are sort of maintaining a decent amount of speed and keeping a decent gap to these guys. We've got Verstappen with a sizable gap between himself and Ricciardo, and then the 2 Mercedes are just pulling away. They're going to be tough to catch, especially with Leclerc slowing me down there. I'm having to just feather the throttle here, because I can't put the foot down, because I'm going to crash into the back of him, and I have to pick my spots here. High speed track, not really a whole lot of opportunities to pass here. DRS down the back straight. Leclerc goes a little bit defensive here. We're going to go to the outside, try and make a move, as we almost got behind Ricciardo there. But Leclerc has to slow down a lot more, taking that inside line, and that position is out to the taking. P5 now. Ricciardo's got no DRS. Oh, we make a massive dive up the inside of turn 3, and we've claimed essentially 2 positions in 2 corners, even though there is a turn 2 on that straight. But it's not, I don't really see that so much as a corner.
Give us the best in lap you can.
Alright, lap 10. We've skipped ahead a bit because there's not really a whole lot happening on track. Leclerc and Sainz have traded places, but other than that, everyone's sort of in the same positions. As we now make a dart up the outside of Verstappen heading into turn 3, and we get a much better run coming out of there. But now he's going to have DRS on us, so doesn't really do much for us other than the fact that it probably draws Verstappen that little bit closer to Bottas. So if we can sort of keep slingshotting between P3 and P4 here and giving each other DRS, we might actually be able to catch up to these 2 Mercedes. But it is going to be a pretty big ask because they've been in front this entire time and no one's really been able to catch up to them. As we're going to head into the pits now, so we won't be able to do the slingshot thing, as I kind of forgot that I have to come to the pits. We're going to be heading on to our second set of softs to try and catch back up to these guys, and hopefully we can get some decent position. Hopefully we can get some decent laps in and get into a good position when we come in for our second stop. As we've rejoined in P10, just in front of our teammate Michael Schumacher, who is still sitting back at P11. I don't know if he's gone into the pits yet. I think he's still running his first set of softs, so that could help us out in the long run with him only doing a 1 stop, as we get another track limits warning, or we get a track limits warning. The other ones we were getting were in qualifying. There's a bunch of other drivers have gone into the pits now. We go purple through Sector 2 and Sector 3 that lap. But we're still only sitting on a 106.7 for our best. We need to be doing a lot better than that if we want to catch up to the guys at the front. But we are back in P6 now. There is, however, a decent gap between ourselves and the 2 Mercedes in P1 and 2. It's going to be hard to catch up to those guys. P5 now, so we did manage to get past Sonoda, and we've managed to get past Gasly, and we've got ourselves the fastest lap.
Fastest lap of the race so far.
A 106.2, so we've managed to take 5 tenths, I'm pretty sure it was 5 tenths, off our previous best to get into fastest lap territory. P4 now, but
Gap ahead is 14.1 seconds.
Yep, thanks for that, Jeff. I was just about to say that it's a pretty decent gap to Verstappen. Almost 14 seconds to Verstappen now, but those 3 cars up the front are still running their first set of softs. They're only just coming in. Well, one of the Mercedes is just coming in now. Verstappen's going in as well for their one and possibly only stop of this race. If they've run 14 laps on softs, I'm pretty sure they can run another 22 on mediums with whatever tyre wear upgrades they have got. That promotes us to P2. Bottas still almost 14 seconds ahead of us. He's already around turn 3. We've got a lot of work to do to try and catch up to him. He is now heading into the pits, so this is going to help us a little bit, but we still have another stop to make. We've still got to go onto our set of mediums, as we're having to use a set of slightly worn softs at the start of this race, which is why we did have to do the 2 stop. If we were using fresh softs, we could have done a 1 stop, but unfortunately we're going to have to do a 2 stop. We could have gone on to the hards, but I don't know if the hards could have lasted that long and given us really the boost that we needed. I mean, they probably could have lasted the entire race, but you know, we needed speed, and the hards on this track probably would have been more detrimental to us. And yet somehow now we've managed to lose a lot of time here, so our softs are starting to wear down quite a bit. We were almost 4 seconds ahead of Hamilton, and Bottas has now managed to catch right back up. He's now within 2 seconds of us. And we are now going to have to go into the pits. I really want to be able to gain some more time on these guys, just so we can get a better shot coming out of the pits. And we won't be as far behind them. But it's going to be a tall ask. Lap 22, so we are almost 2/3 of the way through this race. And we are currently leading, but we are probably effective sort of I guess maybe P6, P7, depending on the gap. Well, it's probably P7, depending on the gap between Ricciardo and Leclerc. Oh, and a good stop that time, a 1.8. We don't normally get good pit stops.
No more scheduled pit stops.
I do have to admit, we do end up getting some pretty slow pit stops in this team. We managed to come out, we're in P4, ahead of Leclerc, as Ricciardo and Sainz both have to come into the pits. I think that's their second stop. I think maybe they're in the same position as us.
Rain in around 10 to 15 minutes.
Okay, so rain's going to be coming 10 to 15, so we will 10 to 15 minutes, so we might end up finishing this race before the rain comes. But if that rain comes a little bit, if that rain comes in 10 minutes, that could change everything. We're going to have to start thinking about a possible plan, whether we go into intermediates early when the rain comes, or whether we start on the slicks, on the dry weather tyres, and risk getting ahead of everyone else who might be coming into the pits. But we're going to keep pushing on with our medium tyres. We're going to have to just think, of finishing this race before the rain comes at this point. Rain would probably help us.
We're leading our team.
It will slow down the guys at the front.
13.8 seconds.
Okay, so we are miles ahead of Schumacher.
13.0 seconds.
And we are also miles behind Verstappen in third.
Okay, the gap behind is 7.4 seconds.
Okay, so we've got a decent gap to Gasly, so we're sitting pretty safe in P4 at the moment. We do have 13, we're about 12.5 laps left in this race. And we're sort of making some gains on Verstappen. We've managed to get under 13 seconds now, the gap to him. It was about 14 before. And these mediums have warmed up pretty nicely, and we're starting to get some good grip around this track. Taking these corners a lot better than we were on the softs. So maybe we should have gone onto the mediums earlier. We had a 105.7.
Fastest lap of the race.
New fastest lap on a set of mediums. So maybe we should have gone onto the mediums for our second stint. Should have just gone 2 sets of mediums instead of 2 sets of softs. That might have actually helped us out quite a bit. As we come around, we've now closed the gap to Verstappen by another 2 seconds, and we've taken another tenth off our fastest lap. A 105.6. So the mediums are definitely the tyre of choice here in where are we? Austria. But at the same time, how much wear are we incurring by pushing the car this hard? Lap 28 now, so we've got, once we've rounded this last corner, we've got 8 laps left, and we have managed to close the gap to Verstappen to 7.5 seconds now. Another fastest lap.
That was the fastest lap of the race so far.
So we've managed to cut down about 8 tenths on our fastest lap on the softs on these mediums. These medium tyres allow us to handle these corners a lot better than the softs, which is great for us. We are now
Front is 1.8 seconds.
we are now within basically seeing range of Verstappen. I can actually see him now. I haven't been able to see him since I came out of the pits, going on to these mediums. We've got 4 laps left in this race. We're still running 105s, whereas on softs we were running 106s. We really need to push now. We've got plenty of fuel, 5 laps of fuel with only 4 laps left in this race. The sky is starting to get darker. The clouds are coming. Will we get some rain before the end of this race, or are we going to be able to finish it in the dry? Rain would really help. Rain would slow down those Mercedes and give us a chance at a win. But we just need to focus on Verstappen for now. We're finally within DRS range of Verstappen, but we aren't going to be close enough to make a move at turn 1. But we are going to get DRS again. Maybe we'll push for a move up here at turn 3. Oh, it's going to be close. We're going to go for it. Up the inside. A massive dive bomb. We do run a bit wide. And we slide a little bit and we let him back in front again. And we've just given him DRS. So we've actually hurt ourselves with that move. But luckily we are still within range. 4.5 seconds to Hamilton. That's probably not going to be a gap that we are able to close. So our best position that we can probably get is P3 right now. As Perez is now out of the session, so Red Bull have taken a hit.
Caution. Be aware, there's an incident in the next part of the track. No overtaking through the yellow flags. The track is clear. Green flag.
So we had a prime chance to make a move on Verstappen there, getting DRS on that straight. But because the yellow flag was still in effect, we had to actually slow down. We couldn't pass him. But we make another move here. Right up behind Stroll, heading into turn 3.
Great maneuver. You made it look easy.
Stroll's moving over to let us pass. He's probably not going to be slowing down Verstappen at all. No, Verstappen manages to get past him before the braking zone. That could have helped us out if he'd managed to hold him off a little bit. That's okay, we're now up into P3. And we managed to hold on to that heading into the final couple of corners of this race. We managed to close the gap to Hamilton to 3 seconds. But it wasn't enough. But we do manage to walk away with another podium finish.
Can't complain about that one. That was an excellent drive.
It was an excellent race. We managed to pull out a podium finish there. We needed that. We needed to get as many points as we could here.
Smiling faces on the pit wall after a superb win here in Spielberg, and rightly so, a brilliant effort from the whole team. Tell me, Ant, how do you think they were able to deliver such an incredible result today?
Well, I honestly feel it was down to the driver and car today. I mean, we can talk driver skill all day, but if you don't have a solid team to back that, you're never going to get anywhere. When you hit that sweet spot of having both an excellent driver and an incredible car, that's when you see results like those we witnessed today.
After an excellent performance at the Grand Prix, I'm sure there'll be plenty of celebrations tonight amongst the Mercedes team, and they certainly deserve it.
So there we have it, a 1-2 for Mercedes. Bottas picking up yet another win this season, which is only going to help extend his lead in the championship. We get P3, we're back on the podium again. Two rounds in a row we've managed to get on the podium. We had a race win in France, we've now got a P3 here in Austria after starting back in P11. Pierre Gasly though started in 17th, he's finished in 6th. What a drive from him, claiming himself 8 points for AlphaTauri. Schumacher finishes back in P13. I'm pretty sure there was one point in the race where he actually had to go into the pits. I think he had some damage to the car. I'm not too sure, but I do remember at one point there was he was slowing down a bit there, and it was odd to see him slowing down that much. We've managed to jump up into P5 now in the championship. I mean, we're still 93 points behind Bottas, who is in front by an entire round's worth of points to his teammate Lewis Hamilton. Verstappen in 3rd, Sergio Perez in 4th. But yeah, we're we're in P5 now, 63 points. A good haul from the last 2 races for us. That puts us up into P3. 2 race weekends. they've managed to boost us back up the standings. We're in P3 ahead of McLaren. We're at the same number of points, 83 points. But it is still really close between Cross GT Racing, McLaren, Ferrari, and even Alpine is still in there. 22 points the difference between those 4 teams. Red Bull 92 points ahead, or clear of behind Mercedes. Trying to get my words out. But yeah, what a race that was. We did manage to claw our way back up into P3. If we hadn't taken that grid penalty, probably would have taken the win there. But P3 off a grid penalty in that race is going to be a lot better than a grid penalty at the end of the season on a race that we have difficulty with getting positions and potentially ending outside the points in those races, because those last races are going to be where the points really matter. But yeah, I'm happy with that. I'm glad that we took that grid penalty and still managed to get the points out of it. Strategy for this round paid off. We're going to have to probably do that for this middle part of the season for each of the races, to really make sure that at the end of the season we have the parts that we have can last the distance. We don't have to worry about engine failures, we don't have to worry about grid penalties, all that sort of thing. But yeah, so that is the end of round 8 here in Austria. P3 for us, another podium. I'm really happy about that. P5 in the championship, P3 in the constructors. But now we have to make some hard decisions. Do we keep Schumacher on for the rest of the season and try and focus on the car that we have, or do we give him a little bit of a holiday and focus on upgrading our facilities so we can get some more upgrades on this car, you know, and then maybe bring him back in season 4. Maybe we don't go for the constructors this year. Maybe we don't go for championships. Maybe we just focus on building the car to the max for season 4. It's gonna be a hard decision to make, but it's gonna have to be made before the next race, so that we can start making plans for the rest of the season. But if you did enjoy this video, please do leave a like on the video. Let me know in the comments what you thought. Please do subscribe if you're not already subscribed. It would really help the channel and I would really appreciate it. And hopefully I see you guys on the podium in the next one. Could really use those extra points as we go into round 9, as we get in the second half of the season. Hopefully I'll see you guys all in the next one.